Good afternoon po sa lahat. So, good afternoon. Today, I'm going to discuss the procedure, assessment, monitoring, and evaluation of homeroom guidance as indicated in DMCI 155, Series of 2020, or the policy guidelines on the implementation of homeroom guidance most essential learning competencies during crisis for school year 2020-2021. I am Jonna Kristen Valdez, a registered guidance counselor and a senior education program specialist from the Bureau of Curriculum Development. The implementation of this program shall be governed and guided by the following principles. First, nomenclature. Homeroom guidance shall be reflected in the class program of every school in the school forms as homeroom guidance. It is abbreviated as HG. Second, on medium of instruction, the learning materials are written in English, but the regions may opt to use their mother tongue or any language convenient to the learners to ensure participation and interaction during the session and better understanding of the concepts. This is also including the outputs that they are going to submit for this year. Third, time allotment. Time allotment for homeroom guidance is 1 hour or 60 minutes per week from grade 1 to grade 12, while for kindergarten, it will be included in their blocks of time. Fourth, on class program, the homeroom guidance shall be scheduled once a week. So we need to consider and adjust depending on the learning modality of the learner as long as it complies with the time allotment of 1 hour per week or 60 minutes per week. You can also use the time allotment stated or indicated in the modules as your guide in the delivery of the modules or in the delivery of the lessons of the modules. Fifth, the class advisor shall be assigned to implement the homeroom guidance program with the technical assistance of the guidance counselor. If the school does not have a guidance counselor, the school head may assign a guidance designate, but he or she should be provided with proper training specific to the implementation of homeroom guidance. Sixth, collaboration with family and community is also encouraged in order to create a venue for the learners in developing the skills in academic, personal, social, and career development. We have to remember that education is everybody's business. On teaching load, teaching homeroom guidance shall be equivalent to 1 teaching load on top of the teacher's advisory and subjects load. 8. Homeroom guidance shall not be viewed as a formal learning area like edukasyon sa pagpapakatao or ESP and the like. It shall be treated as a program that will help learners develop the competencies needed in the 3 domains. Hence, its delivery in class is quite informal but still follows the structured learning experience flow. So what is a structured learning experience? So this is collaborative, experiential, supervised, in-depth, and it aims to provide learners with opportunities to learn and demonstrate attainment of competencies. Ninth, on orientation and capacity building. The Central Office, through the Bureau of Curriculum Development, shall conduct orientation and capacity building to region and division supervisors in charge of guidance and counseling. So regions, schools, divisions shall conduct training for the program implementers to capacitate and prepare them for the implementation of homeroom guidance most essential learning competencies. As you can see on your screen, we are done with the July 29 activity, which is the orientation of region and division supervisors in charge of guidance and counseling. And it was really a successful activity. And then today, August 13, we are having the capacity building of region and division guidance designate or in charge of guidance and counseling. Also with us today are our school heads and supervisors. And starting Monday, August 17, you can have your own division orientation or capacity building of school heads and guidance counselors. I think this is depending on the decision of the division, if they see it necessary for them to hold another orientation for their school heads and guidance designates or guidance counselors. 10th, the homeroom guidance most essential learning competencies and learning materials will be issued by the Department of Education. So this was already issued last June together with other most essential learning competencies of the other subjects. Okay. And the learning materials will be available. Hopefully, it can be downloadable through the LR portal by August 2020. 11th, homeroom guidance assessment results must be distributed and discussed by the class advisor during the parent-teacher conference. This shall be issued as an attachment to the learner's report card. 12th, DepEd schools shall include all expenses relative to homeroom guidance in their annual school improvement plan. 13th, non-implementation or improper implementation of homeroom guidance shall be subject to existing applicable administrative actions. Okay. Let's now move on to our roles and responsibilities of DepEd offices. Okay, so to start, for schools, the school head supervises and monitors the implementation of homeroom guidance and ensures that proper intervention for each learner will be provided. The guidance counselor or guidance designate serves as the program manager and ensures the correct content and pedagogy of homeroom guidance in school. The guidance counselor or guidance designate must conduct the orientation and homeroom guidance at the beginning of the school year and hold quarterly meetings with section advisors before the implementation of the modules. As the need arises, the guidance counselor or guidance designate must be able to provide other guidance services or intervention without violating the provisions stipulated in the RA 9258 or the Guidance and Counseling Act of 2004. Class advisors serves as homeroom guidance implementer inside the classroom. So the class advisor refer the learner to the guidance counselor only if counseling intervention or other guidance services are needed, such as referral, consultation. More so, the class advisor collaborates with co-teachers and parents in developing the competencies of the learners at home. Together with the guidance counselor or advocate and parents, the class advisor shall identify and implement possible intervention for the progress of the learner. School Division Office. So, Curriculum Implementation Division through the ESP Supervisor in charge of Edukasyon sa Pagpapakatao in coordination with School Governance and Operations Division through its designated guidance and counseling focal person serves as the division program manager. They also coordinate with the guidance counselor or guidance designate of schools. They ensure localization and indigenization of content and pedagogy and are expected to monitor the conduct of homeroom guidance. In the regional office, the Curriculum and Learning Management Division, or the CLMD, ESP Supervisor in coordination with Education Support Services Division, or the ESSD, through its designated guidance and counseling focal person, serves as the program manager in the region. Okay, so he or she coordinates with the school's division program manager to ensure that the conduct of homeroom guidance is in accordance with this policy. They are expected to submit an annual report on the conduct of homeroom guidance. In the central office, the Bureau of Curriculum Development serves as the program manager. The focal person serves the correct or ensures the correct curriculum articulation and consolidates annual report on the conduct of homeroom guidance. The Bureau of Learning Delivery ensures that appropriate pedagogical approaches are employed on how to deliver the curriculum content. The Bureau of Learning Resources ensures the availability of learning resources to the field units. On assessment of learners' development and monitoring of the program, though the intent of the homeroom guidance is to help learners develop competencies that will aid them in facing different issues and tasks, it is important to still track their level of development. Homeroom guidance implementers must always keep in mind that the program shall capacitate learners toward success. Hence, compared to the formal learning areas that are being measured following the DO number 8 series of 2015, homeroom guidance shall utilize Learner's Development Assessment Tool, which you can also find in the Annex 3 of the DM 155, guided by the verbal descriptions. Okay? So here are the verbal descriptions. NI means needs improvement, or the learner has not acquired the target competencies. D stands for developing. The learner acquired some of the target competency. SD, or sufficiently developed. The learner acquired the target competency. And DC, developed and commendable. The learner acquired the target competency and showed commendable application in real-life situations. So the learner's development shall be assessed through their portfolio and performance task. Conduct of homeroom guidance is mandatory, but this is not part of the academic rating. Grades are just descriptive. So if the student will get needs improvement, what is the meaning of this? It shows that the student needs a certain intervention from school and home. In the event that the learner remains at the needs improvement at the end of each quarter, the advisor, guidance counselor, and parent need to work together to provide intervention. So disciplinary cases of learners must not affect their homeroom guidance grades. So here is the example of the homeroom guidance learners development assessment for school year 2020-2021. For each key stage, so for kindergarten, they have their own assessment tool. Here is the primary level, or the grade 1 to grade 3 development assessment. For the intermediate level, for junior high school, and for senior high school. Success and sustainability of the program will only be ensured if there is a systematic and adequate monitoring and evaluation. Monitoring and evaluation shall be done from September 2020 to April 2021, or as scheduled by the department. Reports on the results of the monitoring and evaluation shall be submitted at the end of school year 2020-2021. The following are the offices and units which will implement, monitor, or will be affected by this policy. School level. The school head leads the monitoring in coordination with the guidance counselor or guidance designate or guidance advocate. School head ensures evaluation of the program. So here is Annex 1 or the homeroom guidance monitoring tool in school level. Okay, as you can see, there is a scale below. Okay, 0 means no chance to observe, 1 not observed, 2 observed but insufficient, 3 sufficiently observed, and 4 sufficiently observed and commendable. So say for example, Item 1, make sure that the learning modality is conducive for learning and activities. Okay? So if this will be observed but not sufficient, the school head or the guidance counselor may check under number 2. Okay? Observed but insufficient. Okay? If there are cases that there's no chance to observe, then they will check 0. Okay, so we understand that in this particular event during pandemic, since we don't have face-to-face, there will be items or categories that will not be observed, or most of the answers will be 0. Okay, um, okay lang yun. We understand that because of this situation, and everything, your recommendations, um, the things that you will say about the conduct of the homeroom guidance based on this monitoring tool will be very much appreciated. Okay, so this is also our way of looking into the program and check if this is really helpful for the learners. Okay, so we'll have to really work hand in hand in order for us to achieve the goal of this particular program. Okay, so this is for the school level. And then for the school's division level, the Edukasyon sa Pagpapakatao ESP supervisor in coordination with the guidance counselor designated in the division office leads the monitoring using the homeroom guidance monitoring tool. So a while ago, I showed you the school monitoring tool. Now we also have the SDO level monitoring tool or the homeroom guidance monitoring and evaluation tool. Okay? So here, hinati naman yung legend natin from evident, evident but inadequate, not evident, or not applicable. Okay? And again, we understand if there will be sections or categories na not applicable or not evident as of this event, no, during this pandemic. So we'll try to look into possibilities on how are we going to improve the content as well as the areas to be implemented for the homeroom guidance. Okay, so for the division level, the areas to be monitored are curriculum implementation and compliance, delivery process, evaluation of learners' development, supervision of homeroom guidance implementation, administrative concerns. Okay? And then, meron siyang summary sa likod. Makikita dyan saan yung mga evident. Hopefully, in the curriculum and implementation, maging evident naman siya. Baka meron lang tayong ilang pagkukulang o may mga kailangan tayong iayos pagdating sa delivery process for this year, no? But in the evaluation of learners' development, I hope yan din maging evident in most of our divisions. And the supervision of homeroom guidance implementation, I hope you also have that, no? Okay. So it has a page 3 which says, this certifies that the monitoring and evaluation results have been discussed with me. I understand that my signature does not necessarily indicate agreement, but acknowledge receipt of the report, and that I may respond to any and all issues contained in this evaluation. Written response must be submitted to the undersigned supervisor within 10 working days of date noted below. Okay? That's just for the monitoring and evaluation. Okay, that's for the schools division level. Next, in the regional level, the ESP supervisor in coordination with ESSD focal person for guidance and counseling leads the monitoring in the regional level, focusing on the entire implementation of the homeroom guidance. So for the school and division, they have the monitoring tool. Sa regional level naman, they do the consolidation. And we'll see ano kaya yung region na may pinaka magaling, pinaka maayos na implementation on homeroom guidance, at ano rin yung may pangangailangan pa to improve in the implementation of the homeroom guidance. Okay? Next, in the national level, the Bureau of Curriculum Development leads the overall monitoring and evaluation of the homeroom guidance. So the Bureau representative shall consolidate the annual regional report on the implementation of homeroom guidance and coordinate the results to other bureaus of the central office that which may serve as reference for future enhancements of the program and related policies. Okay, so this policy shall take effect in school year 2020-2021. So we'll start ng August 24 until April, ayan, and succeeding years immediately upon publication in the DepEd website. Okay, here are our references. Okay. I will also give you some updates on homeroom guidance learning materials. So for quarter 1, okay, we have a total of 45 modules. For quarter 2, we have 42. For quarter 3, we have 40. Quarter 4, we have 37. A total of 164 modules. Okay? So, nandyan din yung distribution per domain. At makikita ninyo na ang pinakamarami o pinakamalaking domain ay ang personal social, which is 98. Okay? Yan naman kasi yung target natin for this school year, na mabigyan sila ng competencies talaga at makatutok ito sa personal social development domain. Okay? Yung academic and career ay pantay lang, pero iba-iba lang din yung dami nila sa bawat key stage or sa bawat grade level. Okay? So here is the number of modules per domain naman siya. Okay? And here, we have the homeroom guidance number of modules and estimated number of pages. Okay? So magtataka siguro kayo, bakit pagdating sa grade 11 and grade 12, konti yung kanilang homeroom guidance module? It's because nakafocus lang po sila sa personal social domain. Ang ating kindergarten hanggang grade 10 po, meron silang academic and career development domain. So for grade 11 and grade 12, they have a separate career guidance program. So mayroon din po tayong guidelines na ilalabas dyan, at magiging focus naman nito is yung kanilang pagpe-prepare o paghahanda para sa ating mga curriculum exits, 4 curriculum exits. Okay? Okay, so with that, maraming salamat po and have a great day.